I'm here today at SEMA with Jeanneret. He brought the Honda to Formula Drift. Glad to see you out here. The car is beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
Take us through, why did you decide to run an S2000 in Formula Drift?
Well, it started back when I was in high school, actually. This car was my dream car. This car was something I've been planning for years. It's just, I needed to get my foot in the door for drifting, and a Nissan chassis made it really easy for me. So after we had a little incident with the wall last year, we were like, you know what, it's time to bring the Honda. It's a factory suspension in the rear. Everything is still Honda in the back, except for the Bilstein coilovers. We re-engineered the whole front suspension for a wider track, for the deep steering angle for the drifting needed. We went with a bigger motor, and with the K-Series engine, it was allowed us to get a lot more torque and a broader power band than the F20 or F22s. And the motors are a lot easier to come by. We are just under 1,000 at the wheels and about 700 foot-pounds of torque. The internals on the bottom end are taken care of Wiseco and K1 and the Golden Eagle sleeve block. The head package and all the induction side of the head is all through Skunk 2. And then all that is plumbed through Vibrant Performance couplers and whatnot, and our GTX 4088R from Jeanneret.
I noticed that a lot of the drift cars have a really wide stance up front. Now, is that simply for steering angle, or are there other advantages? So
what happens when you do drifting, you need a lot of counter steer angle. And to do that, we can't chop the frame rail, so we have to push the wheels farther out.
Ah, got it.
And it makes it a little bit of a challenge to stay within the rule book, but you know, we managed to do so. And then what actually happens when you widen or narrow the rear end, it wedges the car, so it has a maximum amount of traction in drift. So it keeps that back end easy to plant around. The wider you do it, the easier it comes out. The more in you go, the more grip you have. We use a NASCAR spec 4-speed dog box, and that allows us to just bang through gears without having to worry about them shifting weird. We can use clutchless shifts if we want. The next most important thing is our brakes. Sparta Evolution has supplied us with an amazing 355mm kit. The modulation on the pedal is super critical because we don't run a lot of heavy braking, but when we need it, it's just the good level of bite, but not overly aggressive to where it's locking tires. On the rear, we run a hydraulic in-ran e-brake, so we can lock the rears when we do want to on a dime. We've had a kind of a rough year, but it's a development year. Going into this bringing a brand new car with no data, and being it is what it is, and nobody's done it before like this, we knew it was gonna be kind of a struggle. You know, if this off season, we know what we failed at, we know what's gonna happen for next year now, and we know how to plan for it now.
Talk to me about the reaction from the crowds bringing Honda to Formula Drift.
That has been the greatest thing. I was opened up with so many warm thank yous for bringing this car, and I've actually had guys at round one, even though we weren't running the car, come up and give me hugs and say, I have something to root for. And you know what? I'm super happy and grateful that every round we see we brought the Honda back to FD t-shirts, and you know, we're high-fiving each other, and you know, it's like a big family that comes together and it supports this. And I can't do this without the fans. You know, sponsors have to see that it's something worth it, and they know it is now.
Well, I want to tell everybody they need to go out and they need to go to his website. He's coming out with a new t-shirt. You need to buy that. Let's help support him, okay?
And skateboards.
Oh, and skateboards.
We have skateboards too.
Even better.